Greetings, everybody. This is the Starving Martian, and last week I promised you guys a look at a very, very special Terminator action figure, and here he is. This, of course, is Kromium from the Terminator 2 Future War toy line put out by Kenner in 1992. Now, if you're wondering what part of the movie this particular character appeared in, the obvious answer is he wasn't there. This was one of the characters made up for the toy line. He's never appeared in the movies. He's never been in any books. To the best of my knowledge, he wasn't in any of the comics or any of the tie-in material. Strictly a action figure character. But what an action figure character. I absolutely adore this guy. He has one major flaw, which we're going to get into in a little bit, but for the most part, I just love the look of him. He is stupid and ridiculous and goofy, and I couldn't be happier. So so yes, Kromium. His power is that he grows into a towering foe, and according to the back of the box, or the package rather, it says when Terminator corners this cyborg, look out. Kromium expands to become a giant metal destroyer. So apparently this is just another model of the endoskeleton that um, Skynet rolled out. Except this one obviously is never meant to have any fleshy covering. I can only imagine what that would look like. But, I remember when I first saw pictures of this guy. I didn't have this one as a kid, sadly. But I saw pictures of him. I thought he was supposed to be like Skynet personified. Like if Skynet inhabited one Terminator robot, this would be it. And it is, I think it's a lot cooler concept than the personification of Skynet that we got in Terminator Salvation. But in any case, this is one of the robots that Skynet rolls out when it needs the heavy hitters. Um, and it specifically says when Terminator corners this cyborg, so maybe this is one of their anti-Terminator Terminators similar to the T-1000. If you need so many Terminators to combat your own Terminators, perhaps you should consider, I don't know, making Terminators that are less easy to hack by the opposition, something like that. Alright, so let's get in on some of the details of Kromium before we show off his special features as best we can. Alright, so look at that face. This is a great face. This is very heavy metal. I'm not even a heavy metal fan, but I do appreciate some of the artwork that goes along with it, and yeah, those shoulder blades, the ram horns. I honestly have a hard time picturing Skynet actually coming up with this design. I think maybe it scanned it off a Megadeth album or something and said, "Yeah, that looks good." But it's got those great glowing red eyes, um, the metal skeletal face, which is very Terminator. It's a very T800 endoskeleton face until you get to the top of the head. These horns curve down. They do not rotate, so you can't put them in interesting ramming positions, but they look good as they are. As I mentioned, the shoulder blades, these don't rotate or anything. They're made of a softer rubber. I mean, not really pliable, but you could tell they're a different material. I still want to stick them in my eye, and there you have it. Coming up the torso, he's got these knee pads, which serve a function in a minute. We'll see. And he's got these bits here on his sides, and those are actually his weapons. So we move his arms up to get them out of the way. Now he looks like a zombie. And these can, oops, kind of get stuck at the waist, but these can rotate forward. There we are. As little machine gun weapons. And I've heard of shooting from the hip, but yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. In fact, that just looks ridiculous. I prefer to keep them. You can put them straight up and down, I like to tilt him back a little bit, kind of like he's a Flash villain. Alright, so posability, his head does not turn. We'll see why in a minute. His arms, as you see, can go up about that far. They can rotate back about that far. He's got the shoulder bit here that keeps him from doing any more. The hands, sadly, do not rotate. They're stuck in this, like, motorcycle grip position. The legs can come up like that. They don't really go back much at all. And that's about it for posability. This guy's just going to stand ramrod straight on your shelf, which, you know, for the robot character he is perfectly fine. Alright, so let's get into his gimmick. He does not come with any accessories. He doesn't have any weapons. He is a weapon. So, let's get on with it. What can this guy do? As I said, he grows into a towering foe. So how do you do that? Well, you come over here, you pull the legs down, and they'll lock into place. And so that's why these shin guard, or not shin guard, these knee guards are here to kind of cover that up a little bit. The arms you pull down, yeah, they're good and tight, but it's a brand new figure. I just opened it, so it should be. Alright, and you'll see that they have like kind of a skeletal look there going there, so that's good. The neck also extends. And now he is a towering foe. He is supposed to be taller, however. You're not actually supposed to pull the neck up. What you're supposed to do is push this button here, which the instructions claim is a button on his back. That is not his back. I'm sorry. That is his rear end. But either way, you're supposed to push that button in, and then not only does his neck expand, but his torso shoots up a bit too. There's a post inside the torso. And I'll show you a picture of that from his backer board. Alright, so that's what he's supposed to do. Okay, there he is collapsed. And there he is expanded. So why does mine not do this? Well, this is a problem facing many of these figures. And again, it has to do with the fact that this toy was made in 1992. It has a spring gimmick, and that spring has just been sitting there all bunched up in the package waiting to go. When I opened this guy up, he literally jumped out of the package at me. It was kind of scary. It was like the rise of the machines had begun. But he literally bounced out of the package because the spring was just ready to go. And once the spring sprung, I could not get it back in. I could push down on his torso all I wanted. It would close, but it would not snap back into place. And so he would be stuck forever in his towering form. Now, I don't know how well you guys are able to see, but the post in here is just a little bit of this brownish plastic, little cylinder. It's not molded in any way. It doesn't look like a spinal column. It just looks like a plastic post, and you know, it looked a bit ridiculous. If I had to have him stuck in either tall mode or short mode was the way to go. And so what I ended up doing was taking a saw, little hacksaw, and literally sawing through his spine and removing his spring, and then super gluing him back together. So these guys are relatively cheap, and that might be one of the reasons why. I read a review for him on Amazon when I purchased him. He cost me like $6 after shipping, and the person there said that they had that problem, that they couldn't get him to collapse. And I've seen a bunch of pictures of these guys on eBay, and most of them have him in tall mode, and I suspect that's because they can't get him to collapse either. So if you purchase Kromium, do so knowing he's going to be stuck in the upright position. And you're going to have to either live with it or do what I did and then live with him being a bit shorter. Speaking of shorter, let's do some size comparisons. Here he is in tall mode, or as tall as I can get him, next to Hot Blast Terminator. So you can see he's not actually that much taller. He would be if I didn't have to perform surgery on him. And let's collapse him down a bit. Ew, took out the Terminator. I am more powerful than I realized. Come on, arm. There we go. I kind of like him with the neck extended, but we'll put that down too. And put him back near the Terminator. And we can see they're about the same height when you do it that way. Here he is next to Hannah Dundee from Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. And I actually think he scales pretty well with a human. He definitely looks imposing. And just for kicks, because they kind of have the same gimmick, here he is next to Inspector Gadget. Now, okay. Problem with this Inspector Gadget is the exact same problem that we've been having with a lot of these figures. Is his spring gimmick. His legs here are on a spring, and they don't want to stay in place. But you're supposed to be able to extend his legs. In a way, this guy works better than the Inspector Gadgets because he's got the Gadget legs, arms, and neck. The Gadget line, you had to get like 4 or 5 different figures to have all of the Go-Go Gadget powers. And they all had stupid colored coats, too. Alright, so that is Kromium from the Terminator 2 Future War line. As I said, I really, really like the look of the figure. It is a shame that his spring gimmick has made him unusable. And it's not that hard. It just takes a few minutes to cut through if you have a saw. And then get yourself some good super glue or crazy glue. And once he's glued together, just don't bang him around a bit, and he should hold fine. He should at least look good standing on a shelf. I recommend this guy. He's only a few bucks wherever you look at him. He doesn't have any accessories, so even if you buy one used, you don't have to worry about him not coming with all his stuff. And he just looks awesome. So guys, this has been the Starving Martian. Next week, I hope to begin a look at some other cyborg figures besides the Terminator line. But until then, keep watching the skies, everyone. We'll catch you later.